Hey everyone. Hope everybody had an awesome Christmas. I'm just going to wait to see if I can see me, hear me. It says I'm live, hopefully. Uh, hey Pilgrim. Hey Steph, you too. Hope you have an awesome night. Hey Papa's, nice to see you. Thank you, Pilgrim. Oh, I thought Devil Dog was going on at 8 o'clock tonight. I just saw that he's on. Hey Tara. Hey Casey, how you doing? Hey KP, how are you? Oh, okay. I did not realize that he was going on at 7, which is probably where everybody over is tonight. I will not be insulted if you guys all need to go over there. Hello, my friend, Tony. Hey, see you, CV. So how was everybody's Christmas? I'm like not set up the way I'm supposed to be tonight. I'm all discombobulated. I have had a very productive day, and I'm a total hot mess tonight. But I got stuff done, so I was pretty happy about that. Oh, good. I'm glad, Casey. So I'm going to actually try and stick to the things that I had in my head that I want to speak about. I always do this. I have like 7 things or whatever to talk about. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to talk about this and this. And then I get on here and every single thing goes out of my head. So I'm actually going to try and stick to the things I want to try and talk about tonight and not totally go off and squirrel. It's actually because I still suck at this and I just can't keep my thoughts straight. I've tried using a notebook and writing down the things I want to do, and I don't look at it, or I just it doesn't hit my head the right way when I'm reading it when I'm nervous. Hey Matt, how are you? Oh, good. I'm glad you had a great Christmas too. Yeah, I was watching that. It's there's definitely some funny stuff going on. But so okay, so I wanted to ask how many people get like yeah, but you do such a great job of it. I'm still learning how to wing it. So how many people get like more anxiety or depression like at this time of year, whether it be Christmas or New Year's or just like January and like January blues, the winter blues kind of thing. I mean, I know I suffer from it like really greatly. I don't like the dark. It depresses me, so I always have to find alternative ways. And because I don't go out and because the dark kind of keeps me in, my anxiety level goes up because I'm not forcing myself to do anything. And my excuse is it's dark out, it's cold out, and I'll get to it, when it's more light out. Hey, Huckleberry. Yeah. Oh, just this year? Yeah, I mean, some of it is, talks to the guy, no hard feelings towards him, small problems weren't talked out. That's sad. You know, hey, Irishman. But I'm glad, it's amenable. And yes, vitamin D. That was one of the things I was going to say. I know vitamin D is one of the things you can overdose on. So just don't take more than you're supposed to, more than like the bottle says, because I know some vitamins you can just get rid of, and they don't affect you. No, really, no matter how much you take. But vitamin D, I know can hurt you if you take too much of it. So the other things I was going to say is try to force yourself to get out and do the stuff. If it's just don't, if it's easy and simple and you're like, oh, I'll just do it, on my phone, going to the bank to deposit money instead of, instead of doing it on your phone or well, checks, I should say. My husband has his business, so we usually do the checks, um, uh, but with Snapshot, even, just to get out into the sunlight, go outside and, have the sun beat on your face for a little while. If it's not cold in your area, go outside without shoes and step on barefoot on the grass, which is really great. It's too cold to do that around here, but I mean it works wonders in the summer if I'm feeling down, going outside and just walking in the grass without any shoes on and forcing myself to step outside my comfort zone. And I think that's like the biggest problem for a lot of people is they just don't want to get out of that comfort zone. And with everything going on, this world has totally made it so that you now can hide in your house and do everything you want. You can order food from your couch and have it delivered to your door in the next, 20 minutes. Hey, Rocksteady. Hey, Nancy West. Aw, thanks, Casey. So see, I'm going all squirrel again. The that's part of. I don't normally make New Year's resolution. Hey, Royal Linus, I don't normally make New Year's resolutions because I don't like setting myself up for failure. I just tell myself every year, I'm going to try to do better than I did last year. But one of the things I'm definitely going to try to do is step outside my comfort zone. It is my resolution, go places that I won't go by myself normally and get there and do it by myself. Um, I'm going to try and stay off my phone so much. I I say all the time, I'm like, people are too addicted to their phones, and I always say I'm one of them. My biggest problem is I have this stupid game that every time I sit down to go do something, just not to do something, just to sit down, even if it's just to watch a little TV or whatever it is. The I'll pick up my phone and start playing this stupid game. Yeah, that you know what that happens. I get unsubscribed to channels all the time, and I don't know why. Get a lot of snow this weekend. Next week snow as much as I don't want to drive. I will go to work. I hate driving this stuff. Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't like be driving in the snow at all. It's one of the things. Hey Joe, how you doing? A resilient dad. How are you? One of the things I will not do is drive in the snow. That is, to me, I'm dangerous on the road. So I am that person that people are behind saying, if you can't drive, get off the damn road. So I do. I get off the road. It's not for me. I'm going to do things though that only affect me and my anxiety. One of the things I can't do, but for some reason, is go to like a big box store by myself. I don't know if it's the warehouse that like Costco or BJ's or Sam's Club, things like that. I don't know if it's the ceilings are too high. Sometimes I think that's what it is because I don't have a problem going, in any other places, but those places for some reason cause me these insane anxiety attacks that I just can't get rid of. So I always have to go with somebody. And usually I end up going with my girlfriend. But if she is not available, I force my husband to come, and he's not happy with that. So, but I can't. I don't know what it is. That's the only thing I can attribute it to, is that it's just such an open feeling that I don't know. I feel like I'm going to float away. I'm not really sure what's going on or why it affects me the way it does. I'm just kind of guessing. Hey, Michigan, how are you? Yeah, but are you doing better? I'm assuming. I mean, if you're 6 months there, then you have to be doing better. So I pray for you all the time, Joe. I don't know if it's in there, but I can tell you there was a office I couldn't sit in my old building, where I couldn't sit in there because something with the lights would actually set off anxiety attacks, and I know it was the lights. And I think it was more of a closed-in room, and the ceilings were actually lower, so the lights were right there above me, and it screwed with me. Hey, Rabbit, nice to see you. I want to drive you around, but we have to take my truck. So I don't know if I want to be part of the running over of people. I guess it depends on who the people are. I mean, if they're really dumb, then yeah, then we can do it, no problem. I mean, I found one thing I enjoyed about being first. Attending it involves 13 steps. A 13th step? I thought there was only 12 steps. Did you create this step yourself? Close your eyes, okay. That's what I usually tell my passengers. I'm like, listen, if you don't like the way I drive, just close your eyes. Or you can get out of the car. That works too. All right. So here's a question for you that I'm totally changing the subject now. How many, I know a lot of people with anxiety do this. How many people are like overthinkers, like think things to death, things that they've said, and they replay them over and over in their brain, and you can't sleep because you think you said the wrong thing, or you just replay a conversation in your head and you're like, nope, you know, people took it this way, and you just go on in your own brain. This is something I do, and I actually have a good story about it. So, yeah. Yeah, we don't get any snow really here. Okay, so you understand what I'm talking about. All right, so here's my and this was terrible for me. So when I was in the hospital, I had, my neck surgery. You're all going to think I'm absolutely crazy, but I came on here to make this channel so a lot of people that do have these wacky thoughts know that they're not alone, and other people do it too. Because I know before I started talking to people that um, I'm sorry, wait, I'm totally swirling out. Where do you see that? I'm not, I'm not lecturing. You'll never drink water. Oh, oh, I don't want to know about that. The 13th century started hooking up. Yeah, I can understand why that would be frowned upon. uh, hey, my friend, how are you? Hope you are doing well. Oh, so anyway, so yes, I totally swear. Hey, Green, I always call you Green Thumper, and I'm always like, no, it's Green Thumb Prepper. But always, the very first time I see you, I'm like, oh, it's Green Thumper. That's how I read your name. So, sorry to get back to my story. So before, I used to keep all of these thoughts in my head, but when, over the years, talking to different people and such, I realized that so many people have these types of thoughts, and they're big time overthinkers. And I think it's probably one of the reasons that we have anxiety, or partial of the reason that we have all of this anxiety is because we just can't shut off our brains and we're always thinking. So anyway, when I had my neck surgery, what somebody had texted me and just asked about my surgery, and it was like 10:30 at night or whatever it was. And this is not somebody I talk to on a normal basis. He's somebody from YouTube. I don't talk to him that often by text. And it was one of those. I was After my surgery, I was up for 28 hours straight. It was horrible. So when I texted him back and I said it went well. Everything. The doctor said everything went well, and I just wish I could sleep. And I was kind of excited because I was like, oh yeah, it was on the later side. I was like somebody to talk to, even just for a few minutes because I couldn't sleep. TV was horrible. I couldn't find anything on the TV. I couldn't really put my phone up too much for me to like do anything on my phone, and I absolutely couldn't hold a book to read in a position where it didn't hurt. Hey Trish, how you doing? So I was kind of like, yay, somebody to talk to, even if it's just for 3 texts. It broke up some monotony. Well, anyway, this person didn't text me back, and I'm like, okay, all right, it happens, whatever. But then I started thinking, and now my brain is, did I say something wrong? I must have said that I wish I could sleep, and he took that as a you're keeping me up. I've thought this for months, for months and months. And the other day, he texted me Merry Christmas. And when I went to text him back, my text message, I never hit send. So I made this whole thing up in my head. And I realized that it was actually good for me because I realized that I can make this whole stuff up in my head. And in my head, it was 100% true. I insulted him by saying this. And that's why he didn't text me back. He thought that he woke me up or that I couldn't sleep. And I made this whole thing up in my head. And now I realized that because I was totally convinced of this, that I insulted him when I said that. The text never went through. It was still sitting in my, to be sent. So anyway, that is my story of my overthinking and how it actually ended up working for me because I realized how much I make up in my own head. And this time I could actually prove it to myself. Hey, TT1, nice to see you. I know I missed a few. My anxiety is through the roof. Nothing is working. Is it worse now from the holidays, or is it just in general? Like, I noticed mine comes. I was saying before, mine comes a lot heavier at holiday time, and I would kind of treat it differently. My advice would be a little bit different versus if it's holiday or if it's just in general. Not that I'm like, not that I'm a doctor or anything. Again, I am not a doctor. Oh no, I'm sorry. I hope you feel better. Prayers for you, sister. I noticed I got my daytime anxiety somewhat under. That's good. But man, sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night losing my mind. I literally got to go and hold my daughter to be able to relax myself. Oh, wow. Now, I know you had a lot of issues with pregnancy and such. Is this your last daughter that you just had? Because I almost feel like that could be some sort of uh, like a PSTD. Do I have those initials right? PTSD. I have to say it out loud. It almost feels like it could be some of that. It wasn't you, Irishman. You're funny. How you doing, TT1? I hope you had a great Christmas. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Are you in the fog area? Yeah, well, I was saying, I'm reading all of the moms groups around here, and not that I pay attention to it very often, because they're always bitching about something. But I noticed a lot of people are saying, brought my kid to the doctor, like especially kids. Brought my kid to the doctor. Doctor's, has a fever every night of 103, but they're fine during the day, or they have this cough and they can't get rid of it. Everything is undiagnosed. The doctors are like, it just is what it is. And I feel like I'm just seeing that this year a lot more, because this made, I don't pay attention, and I wasn't paying attention this year. So the fact that this information is hitting me before I even saw anybody talking about it, like before I saw Casey's video or anything like that, it was hitting my, you know, the WTF, you know, brain cell inside me going, what's going on? Like, I don't understand. Has this always been going on? Like all of these undiagnosed? I mean, I know I do a lot of, hey, this is just a fever, or it's just a virus, it's just a cold, and I get that, but it feels like there's so much different. I mean, it could just be me again not paying attention, and this year just happened to hit my brain cells. But they're saying, it's all going undiagnosed. They don't know what it is. I almost feel like that's a PSTD. I keep getting the initials wrong. PTSD thing. Just because from the stories that I've heard you talking about. So I can definitely understand it. That is completely out of my, I'm not even going to, make a comment on something like that, because that's completely out of my realm. That's the one thing, thank God, I don't have, and have never experienced it with myself. But I would definitely talk to somebody who specializes in something like that, because that's what it sounds like to me, Michigan. Notice the short days and longer nights are kind of depressing. Yeah, I get very depressed in the dark. I like the light. So I definitely try to go out and make sure, even, I'll go for walks on my breaks at work anytime it's not too cold or raining. This way, just because we just walk around the parking lot, but it gets me out and into the sun. Yeah, I totally understand that. I sent a craft box to my granddaughter. Oh, how cool! It's funny. I in the wintertime, I could be asleep by 7 o'clock at night, because it's dark by 4. In the summer, I'm up till 1 o'clock in the morning. It's it just, yeah. It's like my body is like, 3 to 4 hours after it gets dark, it wants to go to sleep. It's a sweet suggestion. Yes, true. It is. It's just a suggestion. We were gaining 1 minute of sunlight at night most days. Yeah, 1 minute at night and 1 minute in the morning. I've noticed a lot of people with sinus issues. That's interesting. I gotta say I love my neti pot. This is the best thing for the sinuses. If anybody, yeah, all the patients I've had, they test negative for everything. Yeah, they can't identify. Just treating it a lots of odd. That's the other thing I'm seeing, and I got to tell you, I pushed the pneumonia thing off because when they were pushing the masks in the schools for the kids, I kept saying, I said, these kids, their lungs aren't developed. They're going to end up with all sorts of respiratory issues. And I was saying it, I was actually screaming it, telling people, get those masks off those kids. And, people basically looked at me and thought I was evil for saying things like that. But now all of this respiratory stuff is coming out. And I'm like, well, was I right? I mean, but yeah, a lot of pneumonia going around because that's the other thing they're all saying on these moms group. They're like, oh, did you have them tested for pneumonia? Because my kid went undiagnosed and then they found out he had pneumonia. Chicken as I listen. No worries. I was fine and then I wasn't. A lot of people say that they're fine and then all of a sudden they're not. I was sick a couple of weeks ago. And I was sick for way longer than I normally am. It was enough to keep me out of work for a day and a half. It helped me today to walk my dog. Went on 2 long walks. It helped anxiety. Dogs do a lot. I mean, I think animals do a lot for anxiety. But exercise definitely helps. Eating right helps. If you Oh, that makes way more sense. You would think I would have been able to figure that one out. I wasn't. But Trish, the eating right helps. Drinking a lot of water helps. I usually carry something on me that makes me feel better. Whatever it is, and it could be very very personal to you. I always carry a bottle of water with me for some reason. That helps when I need to just stop and think. I will take like a long sip of water. It's talking about it definitely helps. If you're in the middle of an anxiety attack, watch the way you're breathing. First thing I always tell people if they're having an anxiety attack is one, make sure you're breathing correctly. Second, jaw, fists, and shoulders. Relax them. Take note of them. Relax your jaw, relax your shoulders, unclench your fists. Then do it again because by the time you get to your fists, your jaw's clenched up again. Your shoulders are back up to your ears. Make a conscious effort to relax the muscles. Breathing, make sure you are breathing at least double your exhale as you do inhale. So if it takes you 4 seconds to inhale, 8 seconds to exhale, concentrate on your breathing. It'll help you get your anxiety, it'll help calm the panic attack as it happens. But just for keeping the anxiety at bay, vitamins, if you're low on certain vitamins, it can cause anxiety. The as I said, the holidays can just do a real number on a lot of people. Do you happen to know what you are stressed about? Yeah. Both of my boys, I had to go to school for 2 years with those stupid masks on, and it hurt my youngest in his grades. I think it hurt a lot of kids. And it just, yeah, it was horrible. Yeah, they wouldn't let them take them off here. They wouldn't let them go out for recess. They wouldn't let them sit near each other at lunch. They wouldn't. The amount of precautions they took, which were absolutely nothing, it was terrible. They wanted my younger son was actually going to school for HVAC. He had just started it when it when all the schools closed down, and they wanted him to do it over online. And he's like, this is hands on. How am I supposed to do this? And I said, yeah. And I totally agreed. He took the one semester, and that was it. Awful. Yeah. See, and they all the RSV, is that what they call it? RSV. I mean, I know it's been around, but all of a sudden, you never heard of it. I never had heard of it before. All of a sudden, the last 3 years, they're like, they want you to get a shot for it. And I mean, they want you to get a shot for everything. It took 3 years since October and twice in November and December. Yeah, there's definitely something going out that's really weird. Yep, sudden. That's how a lot of people are describing it. I was sick for longer. It didn't hit me like that though. It wasn't like out of the blue. I felt it coming on. Yeah, you know what? And I'm the same way. And not only that, because I have no sick time left. So every time, because of my surgery, every time I use a day now, I'm using my vacation time, which thank God I still have it because it's something I kind of hoard is my vacation time. So, but I've been using that and I don't want to use vacation time for sick. So I'm going in. So the fact that I left early one day, I only used like an hour or so. And then the next day I was like, I can't. And I was already sick. And that was a Monday and a Tuesday. And I was sick starting that Friday. I had actually had a day off on that Friday and I wasn't feeling good. And it lasted almost maybe 10 days, which I never get sick that long for. Well, now they're talking about cow diseases, aren't they? They're supposed to decrease your stress. Yeah, we have a Labradoodle, so I know all about high anxiety dogs. She's 13 and still hasn't calmed down. Singing is a great way to relieve anxiety. It actually forces you to breathe correctly. So sing loud anytime that if you're having an anxiety attack. And let me tell you something. I sing when I have an anxiety and I can't sing to save my life. So um I'm gonna go with he was 100, so that's not really on my radar. What is causing the stress? Do we really know? Believe it or not, I kind of know where my anxiety comes from, or at least I did. I have I have an irrational fear of dying. Like, I mean, most people have a fear of dying. I have an irrational fear of dying, and I have a fear of, again, an irrational fear of embarrassing myself with an anxiety attack, which is why I tell people, take, when you're having an anxiety attack, tell them, tell people, if you want people to leave you alone, like if I'm at work and I'm having an anxiety attack, and somebody tries to talk to me, I'll be like, give me 5 minutes, having a bit of an anxiety attack. And they will walk away and they completely respect it. And the fact that I said it out loud takes away some of its power. At least it does in my case. I don't know if that would, if that works with everybody else, but I feel like as soon as I say it out loud, it takes away its power. The very year that this stopped wearing the mask, his grades went up to. Wow. That's it. They did these kids such a disservice. It's so sad. And I said when I said uh, my youngest with the HVAC and the hands-on, and they wanted them to do it all online and basically teach themselves on top of it. It's not even like a live thing. It's like, here, read this, take a test, and I said, watch in about 10, 15 years when you go to doctors and mechanics or pilots, see what years they went to school, make sure it wasn't during this when they closed everything down and forced everybody to do it online. But yeah, they did these kids such a disservice by doing that. How do you learn in a mask? You don't. Hitting me all of a sudden, I'm a planner, base salts. That will definitely do it. All of a sudden, all people relying on you like that, that's definitely a trigger for a lot of people. And there's something that's really important to remember. You can say no. Just be like, nope, it's too much for me. You don't have to take care of everybody all the time. It's okay to say, I just don't have the time to do that. Or I can't take care of you right now. I have other things I need to get done. You know, if you can't take care of you, you can't take care of anybody else. Does that make sense? Take care of you first so you'll be able to take care of other people if you want to, but you can't. If you let yourself, don't take care of yourself, you won't be able to take care of those other people. I feel like I am saying that completely wrong. I hope you understood what that meant. Pilgrim, to the corner with you. A lot of vitamins and supplements right now, and I'm hoping it will get rid of it. I got to tell you, I tell you all the time, this homemade chicken soup and pure vitamin C, pure grape juice. I do, Welch's grape juice, nothing added, no extra vitamins, no extra this, no low sugar, just pure grape juice, and I dilute it. But if that doesn't kick it, there is this really fabulous like stock I make, and I got it from um, oh my God, what's her name? I just blanked. Mary's Nest. And it's so you take a whole onion, you take a whole bulb of garlic. You don't peel them or anything. I just wash them on the outside, and like 2 inches of ginger and turmeric if you can get it down. I already have issues with the ginger because I don't like it. Leave the peels on. Just wash them really well. 4 cups. Cut them in half so you get the insides, so all the vitamins absorb into the water. 4 cups of water, bring it to a boil, simmer it for 20 minutes, strain everything. I'm telling you, that broth. And then the way I get it down is I put honey in it, like raw unfiltered honey. I will put that in it because it makes it enough to where I can get it down. Or you could put noodles in it and make it like a broth or something. But I'll tell you, it'll cure anything you have. But Mary's Nest has a whole ton of natural remedies besides Miss Casey, who also is insane with the good stuff. So if there's anybody in here who doesn't know her, please make sure you go to her channel. I've seen kids rehearsing. They were I actually, yeah, they almost made me pass out. I actually had to go to the doctor and get a note. I didn't wear a mask. I put a shield on, which they still wouldn't let me do most things around here. They had to accept it at work because I had a doctor's note, but I had one of those shields instead. Absolutely. And I tell people, your house doesn't have to be perfect. You're having people over, your house doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to clean out the attic. Nobody's going in your attic. You don't have to, clean those back rooms that nobody is going into. It really is. And people like are kind of shocked at me when I go and I start blasting like metal music out of my car and start singing at the top of my lungs. They're like, really? Yeah, no, when I sing, people actually throw things at me. I think it's the main cause of my agoraphobia. Um, what did I say? I'm sorry, D. I don't remember what I said. What's the cause of the agoraphobia? Or is it the same thing as mine? Being like having an unnatural fear of being embarrassed. Sing when I work alone. Nobody wants to hear me sing either, and you know what? I do it anyway. And then I'll make jokes about it because that is what I do. I make stupid jokes, as many of you have seen in the chat. There you go. See, whatever works. My anxiety is anger. I just get mad and yell at people. Only if they only knew it's just my inner anxiety. There's a lot of people like that, and it's funny because who was I think it was Mad Shad who was saying he was talking about this, and he reads people really well with a lot of this stuff, and he was saying, I know they have anxiety. Which personality am I going to get, and how it how he can understand people and know what they're going through. I, I don't remember exactly how he put it, but he had this incredible insight. And I was like, wow, I've never heard anybody who didn't have this kind of anxiety be that insightful about it. But yeah, because your anxiety can definitely manifest in very different ways. It'll all be AI. My singing should be AI. It might be a little bit better. And do you really? I mean, you just sing around the people you don't like. When I sing, it's just me. Was the only time I sing is at church. Yeah, I scream. I'm at the top of my lungs, and then people will roll up next to me at a light, and I'll have my windows open, and they're just looking at me. I'm like, "Hey, I'll never see you again." You know what that statement means about our kids will never leave the house. No, 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 no. They're leaving. I'm booting them out eventually. Yeah, and you know what? And I try to tell people, I'm like, if something is out of character for somebody, then try to understand where they're coming from. Like it might be something that's going on. Don't just take, because a lot of times we'll say things in anger, or we'll say things to literally get people to walk away from us if we're having an anxiety attack, and it's something that we would never say normally, or It's just completely out of character. So if somebody does that to you, give them some time and see if if it keeps going in that direction, or if they turn around in their nice self again, because sometimes anxiety can really do that, and it can also cause depression. So I've been told that I'm such a slow learner. Thank you for the reminder. You're not a slow learner. It's called, you want to help people, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just you got to take care of you. Peer grape juice. Is anyone around, or you GI bug will usually prevent or lessen severity a lot. Really? It's just something, I've craved it as a teenager. I'm not a juice drinker at all. I don't really like it. Grape juice is one of the few things that I will drink, that I don't mind as long as I water it down. I craved it starting when I was a teenager. It was just something I craved when I was sick. And I swear it just does something, because I think your body craves what you need. Uh, you know, you actually mean the fruit, limes. I read that as Lyme's disease. And I'm like, you forgot you have Lyme's disease? I got so confused for a second. I keep limes and lemons in my freezer. Hmm. So there's something to my cure then. And I tell everybody every time. They're like, I got the sniffles. I'm like, homemade chicken soup and grape juice. My left thumb is going to fall off. I'm like, homemade chicken soup and grape juice. It's the cure all. It's wild. I had to hit to get a dark red one today. Anything grapey, just not juicy juice. I think it's the fear of dying. Yeah, irrational. That mine is definitely irrational. I mean, you can't get out of it. And now that I'm finding my faith, it's definitely getting less. So I mean, that's helping me. I still have an irrational fear, but it's definitely less. Hey, Shannon, great to see you. Is it really agoraphobia, or just not wanting to be bothered? I'm not afraid. I just need a long time, even if heading out. Well, agoraphobia is definitely an intense fear of going outside. I had it. I lived it for quite a few years. It's awful and debilitating. Not wanting to be bothered, I think, is a little bit of a different situation. I mean, again, I'm not a doctor. Just my own. This is just kind of my own personal observations. Usually, not wanting to be bothered and just need time is more of a depression thing, as far as I can tell. But because agoraphobia is debilitating, it's not something I would wish on my worst enemy. It's horrible. Yeah, he's super intelligent, and he gets things that I was like, wow, for somebody who doesn't suffer from this, that's pretty intense. Um, wow, I lost my words. Observations. Shannon, you couldn't chat in your live. There was no chat thing to be there. I tried to stop in to say hello. I wanted to just drop in, give you a like, say hello, and wish you a Merry Christmas. I was actually in the middle of about 7 things, but I wasn't able to comment on anything. Favorite places you might cause panic, helplessness, or embarrassment. Okay, that's the. I guess that's the dictionary version of. You know, it doesn't sound so bad when you put it out like that, but let me tell you something. It is debilitating. Yeah, and it's a fear of fear. Same as being overstimulated, come out as absolutely. Oh wow, 1,000%. Yep, no worries. We all are. I love you back. You're awesome, Miss Day. Absolutely. I swear it's so much better than almost anything out there. And I make mine chock full of vitamins as much as I can get in there. And then anything extra I freeze and I keep that broth in the freezer. So when somebody's sick, I keep it in single serving sizes. I buy the mason jars that are straight without the lip, and I just keep single serving sizes in there. So if somebody's sick, I break one out. That and that other stock I make. It's definitely agoraphobia. I spent years inside, but I push myself to work. I don't go to the city. Even for doctor's appointments, I get physically ill. So yeah, one of the ways they helped me with that was doing it in very, very small steps. You know, if I wanted to go like to the park down the street or whatever it was, I would I would make it as far as I could go, and then and then I'd come back and I'd turn around and I'd come home, and then the next day I'd push it just a little bit further, or I'd stay an extra minute or so. It very, very small steps, just pushing yourself just a little bit further without having a full blown panic attack. But also how you talk to yourself, though. It's what could possibly what stop saying what if and turn it into kind of like a so what, been here, done that. I know a lot of my anxiety was helped by me turning it around in my head, saying, all right, I've done this before. Because I'll get the sensations of when I first started this, it was I thought I was having a heart attack, as a lot of people do. They get the heart palpitations, they end up in the emergency room, they get chest pains, they get numbness. And if anybody is feeling any of these things, please go to the emergency room. Please do not just assume you're having a panic attack because I said you are. But and then they find out that it's panic. So I have to tell myself that, all right, wait, I've done this before. I've had these pains before. They're the exact same ones, and nothing bad happened last time. So I can do this, and I focus on my breathing. I focus on relaxing the muscles, especially as I said, the jaw, the shoulders, the fists. Unclench, unclench your jaw, relax your shoulders, then go back and do it again because they're going to go back up there. You could do it like 6 times and notice your shoulders are still back up here. You got to keep them relaxed. So I hope that somewhat helps you. Hey Hunter, how are you? Isn't a good description. I couldn't go out after my first son was born. I couldn't deal with the outside world at all. Oh wow. I don't know. I mean, that could be a form of agoraphobia. Um, it's not something that I've actually felt like that. It was, you know, I almost feel like was it soon after, like postpartum depression? Because I did have postpartum depression. It just didn't manifest itself like that. Hey, Katrinka. Love you back. I push myself to work and I have some form of normalcy. I have to, a couple of places I like to go to in the summer, but that's it. Even if it's something I want to do, I can't. I understand that. And how many times I have made plans with a girlfriend and, or, and said like, hey, let's like meet here for lunch. And it was too far outside of my safe area. And I end up canceling. I am that person that cancels on people. Well, at least I was. I'm much better. And and then the excuses of, oh, I'm not feeling good. Oh, this, because I don't want to tell them that I just can't do it. I can't get there. And it sucks, but I have made a resolution this year that I'm going to push myself a little bit further. Hey, Kill It. Drive safely. I can only hope that it helps somebody, because God has put me in this path for a reason. Because every time I'm like, that's it, I'm done. I think I did whatever I was supposed to do, and I decide I'm not going to do any more videos. Something happens, and he's like, nope. You're going to still do it because somebody needs to hear something. And it might not be from me. It could be from somebody in the chat. It could just be hooking somebody up here, two people who can talk to each other, who can help each other, and me giving them that connection that was made because they're both on this channel at the same time, kind of thing. Oh wow. See, now, and I'm the opposite. I like to be outside, but only if I'm doing something specific. I can't just be outside. Check it out. I think it's also because I have an irrational fear of bees. Sorry, I can't tell with a lot out there anymore. That's really good to go out. No, it's, you know what, sometimes it's really hard to describe what we're feeling because we don't actually know ourselves. And I think if we did know, my husband's being dumb. If we did know, I think we'd be able to solve our anxiety issues or depression issues or whatever it is we have a little bit more. But that's the reason we can't, because we don't actually know. And it is so hard for us to kind of put a finger on what we're feeling. Just again, just my opinion. I have my other girl that used to. Yeah, it's not fun. Yeah, I'm not sure if I would trade one for another. I would actually just like to be what they normal. Not that there's really a that's awesome. Is it something you just kind of grew out of, or was it something that somebody helped you accomplish, or an event that helped you get there? Back when I first had it from our dark saying, if I ever got a bounce a guy to go outside, it didn't matter where, middle of the night, I went outside. Oh wow, okay. Yeah, and I that's opposite to me. Complete opposite. They're always the worst types when they get out there. I go berry picking where they aren't. Avoid public places. Yeah, I'm not good on too many people. If it's something is very crowded, I used to absolutely love Black Friday shopping. Like, just I loved the whole atmosphere of it. I wasn't one of those though that got somewhere to get a TV for $50 off and for 20 other people to get it. Like, that wasn't what I was about. I was about starting the season off and just I didn't mind standing outside in the cold. You know, I would go with a bunch of girlfriends. We'd all have, you know, our hot cocoa or whatever, and we made a thing about it. And then we'd start at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and we'd go out shopping for like 4 or 5 hours. We'd hit every store that we all wanted to hit, and then we'd go out to breakfast, and I'd go home and go to sleep. Now, those types of crowds, absolutely not. It just I feel like the people have changed too. I don't think it's just us. I think the level of sanity of just people in general has changed. So I think some of that is not our fault, if that makes any sense. Yeah, she was good with the lives, right? I miss them. It's because it's draining and they did exactly. People now are just yeah. He has made it clear I need to keep doing this for whatever reason. I'm hoping it's because it's helping somebody. That's horrible. The dry heaves. I I never had to, the first one with anxiety, but the dry heaves, yeah, not fun. I can completely sympathize with that one. Have a great night, Shannon. I hope you'll have a great New Year. So, yeah, you too, my friend. Oh, it's 8 o'clock. Yeah, I cannot do small, tight space of crowds. Anything I feel trapped or restricted. Yeah, it's so funny because I look at Times Square and millions of people packed in there, and I get anxiety looking at them. I'm like, oh my god, you could not go anywhere. But yeah, I don't like that anymore. Except for winter, a lot better when I was 20. That's good. Yeah, I don't know. I'd ever get used to driving in that weather. I don't like to do it, and for me, it's dangerous, so I don't. I pay Mary stuff miss. Yeah, too many people have lost lost what this season is supposed to be about, and it's literally become about stuff and money. Oh, that's great. Now that just makes me so happy to hear that. Not that you needed the help to begin with, but just that it is helping. So Thanksgiving, I love to cook in these jars. That's great. Yeah, chicken stock is great. I don't know. Just haven't been here. There's something about being amongst people who suffer from the same issue. Yes, exactly. The more when you get together with other people who have been there, done that, and it's like, oh my god, okay, I'm not alone. That was one of the reasons I started this channel, because I feel like just if we all come and know that there's other people out there that think like us, then you don't feel so alone. And as I said, my email is always open. You are always welcome to email me, and if you need me to talk you through something, I have no problems doing that. You are never alone. I always, as I said, my email is always open. I'm going to shut it down now, though, because it's 8:04. I've kept you guys long enough. Um, you guys are awesome. I'm glad I'm helping somebody, because a lot of the time I feel like I'm up here rambling, and I'm not doing anything but giving you guys a reason to make fun of me and being like, hey, did you see what the ramblings on that channel were? So, oh, you're so welcome. As I said, if anybody needs my email, put it in a comment. I'm very happy to give it to you, and I'm always there. So I'm going to shut it down, and maybe I'll see you guys next week. But if I don't speak to you before that, you'll have a very happy and blessed New Year's, and stay safe and feel better if you are not feeling well. Much love to you all.